What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Sunday fun day. It's how we do it here. Getting ready to pour some shots. Just kidding. Not yet. Just half kidding. Oh, here we go. Sunday, February 19th, 2023. I'm your host, Joe from the Buckeye Cast. Tonight, don't forget, we are drawing our Amazon gift card winner at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube Live. Be there, be square. It's going to be fun. The Amazon gift card winner. But don't forget, keep sharing the channel because we're doing this every 100 subs. So when we get to 600, we're going to do another one. Hell, it could be a week from today. We could be doing another gift card. I have no limit. Well, I do have limits on the number of gift cards I can give out. But anyways, check it out. Today, we are talking defensive recruiting targets for the 2024 class. We did offense the other day. I wanted to give you guys a little break from recruiting, so we're back at it again. And Monday is always our recruiting show, so I got to come up with more recruiting shit to talk about. Oh, fuck me. Oh, so many kids, so many dudes. Let's kick it off. We got a lot of guys to go through here. I'm going to go kind of fast. Like my guy PC Clan said, he had to listen to the offense show twice. So sorry, but hey, that's the beauty of YouTube. You can listen to it a million times. Thank you. All right, let's start off with the edge rushers, the DNs. Obviously, we've talked about this. We buried this topic into the ground. We missed out on all three of the 5-star targets we had in the 2023 class. Okay, let's bury that, put it to bed. Hopefully, we don't have to talk about that ever again. Fingers crossed. So, this is huge for Larry Johnson. The negative recruiting, the speculation on his retirement, all that shit. We got to dig this crap up every year. We got to hear it, and I'm sure he hears plenty of it on the recruiting trail, but this is huge. This class is huge. We got to get 5-star DNs, right? So, he's measured and patient in his recruitment. And most of his recruits are all kind of similar guys, at the DN position. So we probably need four edge rushers in this class. That's a lot. That's a big DN class. And you're going to have some guys that don't like that, as a recruit. They don't want a lot of competition. So let's kick it off with in-state edge rusher Elias Rudolph. He's got a strong relationship that started early. And let's keep our fingers crossed. Like Mark Pantoni has said, we're shifting our recruiting strategy from national to more regional to the Midwest and Ohio. So Elias Rudolph would be a huge stepping stone in that direction, and easier to recruit for Larry. I'm sure Larry's not pumped about getting on planes very much at his age. But another early and strong relationship he has with Dylan Stewart. He's that 6'5", 235-pound mold that Larry loves. So he's another one. You got a guy from Georgia, Edric Houston from Buford. He's got a visit planned in June. Larry Johnson's been very involved with him for a while. Then you got nephew of former Buckeye D tackle Ryan Pickett, Florida's Booker Pickett. He's been a priority for that Jack Leo position, which, I'll keep my opinions to myself on that for now. Anyways, so those are who we're looking at right now. There's going to be more guys, other guys that have just recently been offered in the last couple of weeks. Marquise Lightfoot, Darian Mayo, Williams, Nwerne. I don't know. That's a weird name. Anyway, but none of these guys have visited Ohio State yet. So I'm sure this is going to be a fluid situation like most situations. That's what she said. D tackle. So again, Larry Johnson's group, they signed 3 in the 2023 class. We need at least 2 in this upcoming 24 class. Not too many in-state Ohio guys to monitor, but we gotta pay attention in spring and summer so that we're not, scrambling at the end of the recruiting cycle. So we know about the 5-star out of Illinois, Chicago, Justin Scott. He pushed back his commitment. Remember, back in January, he was going to make a commitment. Everybody thought it was probably going to be Notre Dame. So that's probably a good thing for the Buckeyes, and could be a good thing for Bama, Georgia, and everybody else too. So kind of good and bad there. Larry Johnson and Parker Fleming had been tag teaming that. Parker Fleming does actually do some recruiting, kind of that team mentality on the recruiting trail. And Chicago is one of his regional areas. So they've been working on Justin Scott since last summer. So don't confuse him with Aaron Scott, the corner, in-state guy. Anyway, another D tackle is from Texas. This guy, Nigel Smith, he's been to Ohio State more than any other out-of-state player. He is a huge defensive line prospect. He has a relationship he says the relationship between him and the Buckeyes is still very strong, and he's starting to set up his official visits now. So Buckeyes hopefully get one of those. They recently offered Jaden Jackson from IMG down here in Florida. He camped with the Buckeyes a couple summers ago. He was a freshman back then from Indianapolis, made the switch in high school to IMG. Currently unranked, but Larry Johnson, he doesn't give a shit about rankings. He knows what he sees and he sees what he knows. Something like that. I don't know. Then another dude to watch from Pennsylvania, David Pale. He's been one of the country's hottest prospects, rising up the recruiting rankings recently. So keep an eye on the Justin Scott recruitment. This could have a lot of different twists and turns to it. And it's going to be, obviously, a 5-star is going to be at D tackle. You don't get too many of those. So it's going to be a huge battle for this cycle. Most people think that he's still a Notre Dame commitment, but let's make him think it out and make him sweat it out. So linebackers, yes. Buckeyes signed just one linebacker, Arvell Reese, in the 23 class, only playing 2 though at a time. So not as high of a priority to get a big number there. They did get the early commitment of Garrett Stover, Cade's cousin, listed as an athlete, but will definitely be a linebacker. Laurinaitis obviously is going to bring a huge recruiting boost to the linebacker room. And it's already, he's already brought in his connection with Texas linebacker Peyton Pierce. Got to keep an eye on this guy. I really like him. I think he is our number 1 priority at linebacker right now. Then you got a couple of guys that the Buckeyes have been in on for quite a while. You got Edwin Spillman from Tennessee. His brother signed with Tennessee in the 2023 class. He's a 6'1", 220-pound guy. Virginia, Chris Jones. He has a long-time relationship with Laurinaitis. Will be visiting Ohio State soon. Georgia stud, Jaqueline Birdsong. Family ties to Ohio. So that helps. That Buckeyes are always looking for that in recruiting, of course. He's been regularly in contact with Jim Knowles. He's going to visit at the end of March. So these visits are starting to stack beginning in March and into the summer. One guy I want to keep an eye on because he's got the sweetest do ever is 5-star linebacker Sammy Brown out of Georgia. Leaning toward Clemson right now, but if the Buckeyes can get him on campus again, that can be a big deal and could sway that commitment away from Clemson. So let's talk corners. You could get all the corners you want out of Ohio in this class. We'll probably need 4. And I think Bryce West is a definite Buckeye. Aaron Scott, I mentioned earlier, don't confuse him with Justin Scott, the D tackle. Aaron Scott's from Springfield. Both those guys, I think, are Buckeyes, but in both cases, you got Michigan, Tennessee, Oregon, and a ton of other schools working overtime to try and yank those kids out of Ohio. So 2 guys there that I really like as Buckeyes. Then down here in Florida, you got, Charles Lester III. Arizona, you got Miles Lockhart. We've talked about both of those guys quite a bit in previous shows. Lockhart was close to committing and at his visit during in November during the Michigan game, I believe. So he's going to schedule another visit in the next few months, and that's going to be huge. So could get a commitment out of him there. Cincinnati kids, you got Teron Nichols and Coy Beasley. So keep an eye on them. And then the one guy I think out of this entire group that he has an official visit scheduled for June. His family has developed a great relationship with Tim Walton, and that is Charles Lester. I think you got to save a spot for this guy. He's a different type of corner. So long, got the length, I love the length and the strength equally, but length, especially at corner. So save a spot for him and maybe push back one of those lower ranked Ohio guys, and put him on hold for a minute. Anyways, safety. Let's talk safeties. We got 3 safeties in the class of 2023, and we will be losing most of the safety room after this season, after the 23 season. Now you got another Georgia stud, KJ Bolden. We missed out on Caleb Downs, obviously, last year. He is a top safety target. Obviously, this guy is a stud, cousin of Perry Eliano, by the way, his position coach would be. He has an official visit set for June. Excuse me. It's Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, and everybody else in on him. He is also a teammate of edge rusher I mentioned earlier, Edric Houston. They both go to Buford High School in Georgia. Okay. Buckeyes are going to continue to recruit Georgia commit Peyton Woodyard. He was really high on the Buckeyes during the entire process and still is, supposedly. New Jersey's Vabu Toure is another guy Eliano has a very strong relationship with. Florida, Zaquan Patterson. He's a teammate of Jeremiah Smith, receiver, down at Chaminade Prep in South Florida. Could be a candidate to stay closer to home, but the connection with Jeremiah Smith could help. Can't hurt, right? Then we also got safety Jordan Johnson-Rubel from IMG. He has a late spring visit scheduled. And then one more guy, 2 more guys, Idris Farouk from Baltimore. And then from Ohio, from Centerville, actually, Reggie Powers. That's a cool name. He's rising up the charts, and he has a camp visit set for June. So one person I think you've got to keep an eye on. He's another guy. The Peyton Woodyard recruitment is huge. He, like I said, he's still high on Ohio State. And Georgia has landed a couple safeties that are committed. All right. And they're chasing a few others. So maybe that if they bring in 3 or 4 safeties, that really could open the door for the Buckeyes with Peyton Woodyard. And you never know. Crazy shit happens in recruiting. So, that was a ton of dudes, lots of names. I really mangled some of them. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Go Bucks.